live your life. Don't tell us how to live our life. That's the only thing. Why do you have to fight Russia? What's for? Through the whole history of the United States, you never ever had even one single threat from Russia. Russia helped you at the stage when you fought British. Russia helped you. Mark Twain used to write letters to Russians saying thank you, thank you, thank you, Russia. But Americans invaded Russia back in 1920s. What for? What for? During the Second World War.
By the way, Vladimir, stay there. People don't know that Lenin and all them were funded by the U.S. British intelligence. You just raised that. Bring up that.
Well, okay. So, back after revolution, Americans decided that no, we don't like it, so that doesn't look good. So, why don't we go and grab whatever part of Russia we can? And with Brits, with French and other guys, they started, those little invasion groups on different seaports of Russia. And the Americans went hunting Russians, trying to get whatever they can. They didn't succeed, should I say. We destroyed them all. But that's not the part of the history that is usually discussed. But in Vladivostok, we had Brits. In Murmansk, we had British. In Odessa, we had French. And they were trying to destroy Russia at all. Then Soviet Union. And we loved Americans. 30s. We purchased as many factories as we could. 500,000 Americans during Great Depression went to work so-called in Russia. Made enormous amount of money. Came back. And Russia was saying, okay, Americans were willing to sign an agreement with you that we don't interfere with you, you do not interfere with our domestic policies. And it went well. But 1945. You have nuclear weapon. Immediately came up with a plan of destroying major Russian cities. Why? It's better to be dead than red. Why is it better to be dead than red? We're not willing you to change your color. Be whatever color you want.
But Russia is not red now. How would you describe Russia right now?
Russia is a great Orthodox and Islamic country. We're the country of traditional values. We're telling only one thing. We are there. And we're living on our territory. So don't mess with the bear. If you want to be kangaroo, fine. We're not willing to go to Australia. We're not trying to invade the United States. We're not trying to invade Europe.
Yeah, people don't know how big Russia is. Russia's the biggest country.
Russia will fight NATO.
Russia's the biggest country in the world. You don't need more land. You've got everything.
We don't need more land. We need security. We want to be assured that there's nothing in our borders that is a threat to us. We're not willing to fight NATO in Europe. It's 500 million people. We have only 150.
I was about to say, what about the claims, Vladimir? What about the claims by NATO and by Sweden joining NATO that Russia's going to invade any moment? Oops.
With what?
It's all made up.
We'll invade them with what? We don't have enough soldiers in order to control this territory. We don't need this territory. There is, 500 million people. Why do we need them? What's the purpose? With 150 million, how can you invade 500 million and control them? What for? What do they have in Europe that we don't have? Zero. There's nothing in Europe that will be of any interest to us. Natural resources. We have all the natural resources in the world that we need. Access to the sea. We have all the seas we need. What is in Europe that we could buy? My little villa at Lago di Como. They already sanctioned it. So even for this purpose, we don't have to fight them. It's already sanctioned.
So, Vladimir, let me ask you this.
So there's nothing in Europe that we will have to fight for.
Let's look at worst case, best case scenarios. The globalists are deranged. They're out of control. They've dissolved our borders. They're waging war against us. Believe me, we know they're bad. It's an outside group running America, running Europe. best case scenario, worst case scenario. They've shown how crazy they are. What are you guys really concerned about now that you've absolutely won in Ukraine? It's clear the world's on your side. What are they going to do next? Because they don't give up.
They don't have many chances. First of all, I think that there will be a lot of problems inside Europe. Current leaders will lose whatever elections they have to have, because people of Europe are not willing to spend an enormous amount of money on the war that they do not understand what the purpose is. So that's the big problem. That's why they're trying to solve their domestic problems with yet another war. But this war won't lead them anywhere, because on every tank that we produce, on every artillery shell that we produce it more cost effectively than Europe or America. So in this arms race, no one can beat us. We're times better because we have real economy, industrial.
That's right. Russia produces 7 artillery shells.
Clouds.
Russia produces 7 artillery shells for every 1 produced by the West.
I think that it's much worse scenario than that for European states. I think that we produce more and better, and we come up with enormous amount of great new military needs. But in our concept, we don't have prevented use of nuclear weapons. We do not start war with nuclear attacks.
Well, that's right. Let's talk about. I'll stop you. When you start over, I'm gonna shut up. Nuclear war. What is the Russian view on that? Putin's saying we don't want nuclear war, but it's on the table. Tom Pence says go ahead and use them. So nuclear war.
No. We have a doctrine, in our military doctrine, we cannot use nuclear weapon just because we want it. There is not a preliminary way of using nuclear weapon. In American doctrine, there is. In Russian doctrine, we can use nuclear war only after someone is using it against us or create yet another vital.
By the way, that's true. That's true. Everything you say is a lie. It's true. U.S. policy 20 years ago changed to preemptive nuclear war. Russia has a law against using nukes first.
We won't use nukes first. We don't need it. We have an enormous amount of heavy weapon that can do even worse damage. Right now we're using those flying bombs,
Glide bombs. Glide bombs.
Yeah, flying bombs.
Cruise missiles.
None of that, not cruise missiles. They're actually bombs.
Glide bombs.
But we told them to dance. So now they know how to fly. They know how to fly exactly to the target on the ground with, so now it's very precise type of weapon. And when something like this hits the ground, we started with 500 kilos, and now we have 3,000 kilos bomb. The damage is devastating. It just devastates, and it flies exactly to the target.
Well, that was my next question, but I want you to elaborate on nuclear war. I want you to elaborate on nuclear war. I want you to go here, just take over. But since you mentioned
the only person who can start the nuclear war is Sleepy Biden. He's the only person that can, unfortunately, and he will use the nuclear weapon. It won't be against Russia. I would say that he will try to use it against Iran. Maybe he will be using it not, by Americans, but through Israeli sources. But that is an option, unfortunately. And that will be the end of the world as we know it, because after that, no one will ever stop using nuclear bombs. They will start with tactical, and it's very fast will go to strategic.
I totally agree, so elaborate on that. The way the globals will end one failed war is a new war with Israeli stand down Hamas and all that. I agree. They're now moving away from Russia to Iran. That's a great point. Elaborate on that.
They cannot hit Russia because Russia will hit them.
Be careful down there, boss.
Administration that they have zero respect, and they don't know how to get this respect back, because Blinken team is useless. In Arab world, they're just a bad joke. So they will fight hard in order to get back, not respect, but at least the scariness of the Arab world and Islamic world, because Iranians, they're not Arabs. So that's why they cannot fight Houthi, Ansar Allah. They don't know what to do with Hezbollah. They don't know what to do with Hamas. The total budget of those guys is nothing comparing with the military budget of Israel. And Israel cannot win this war. Americans are not willing to fight for Israelis, but they cannot allow themselves not to fight for Israel. Because in any other case scenario, Israelis will help for Biden on his ground, on his soil. Mass media that sympathize Israelis. And that's a huge problem. So Biden has to decide what's good for the American people. Yet another war. More concentration on domestic problems that he has no idea how to solve. He will fight Iran.
We appreciate your time. In closing, we really appreciate your time. It's great to come on your show. I'd love to come back on. I want to stop World War III, and we have solidarity for a future for all our children. You're a father. I'm a father as well. Israel. I'm not anti-Semitic. I know Israel's a diverse group of people. I'm not against Israel, but you have Israel stand down on October 7th, and then you have them now carpet bombing and doing all of this and genociding people, and it turns the whole world against them. And the Israeli spokesman said 2 days ago, we don't care if the whole world turns against us. Well, they already have. You're Jewish, and I'm asking you, what do you think the calculus? Our government did, things around the world that were wrong. And what the Israeli government has been up to is disingenuous and dishonest. We know there was a stand down on October 7th. We're not sure exactly who's done it. And Yahoo said, well, we'll investigate after the war over. Now they say the war is basically never going to end. First it last a year, now they're saying 2 years. We see where this is headed, a permanent military state. And they've tried to brainwash Americans, that is, the pro-war. The Middle East and our own Pentagon. That if you don't support everything the Israeli government does, you hate Jews and you're anti-Semitic. That's not true.
Soviet guard post.
The majority of Jews in Israel
Bound to be guards. Take a look with your binoculars. Put the enemy in the center of your field of view.
Power, well, it's a parliamentary system, so you can have 20% of the vote. It's like Justin Trudeau would still be in power. You cannot have a hard on. I don't know if he wants to stand up. But even Israeli admit there was a stand down. But he doesn't want an investigation of it right now. So, since October 7th, I've said I'm nebulous on who stand down. More and more it moves to Kudniks and because he's using it to stay in power.
You're almost at the enemy outpost, Violin Village. The village is crawling with enemy soldiers. Don't just go waltzing in. Start with some recon. Is there anywhere that overlooks the village?
So, I'm not exactly sure who did the stand down, but even if you're pro-Israel, you should be able to look at the images coming out of Gaza and know that it's turned against Israel. And why would Israel then do this just for some more oceanfront property? Kushner says, which is a disgusting statement, but honest. So that's disgusting.
How about it? Can you see the village from there?
The real estate
Use the binoculars to recon the place.
Trump went to Kim Jong-un and said, why have people have golf courses, hotels, casinos? Why, you'll be more valuable than South Korea, which is true. They've got more land. South Korea is the most prosperous country per capita, money-wise, in the world. The average citizen. Look at the North, it's the most. And I'm not here apologizing for what Jared Kushner said. I'm just
parabolic antenna. There could be intel files of some kind in there.
Trying to stay neutral on this Israel thing, the Palestinian issue, because hundreds of millions set and starved from the food and fertilizer being cut off. The 80+ million the UN admits have starved to death the last 40 as a result of the lockdowns and the chain reaction that caused. I'm concerned about the hundreds of thousands of fentanyl deaths a year, and the open borders, and the state pedophilia, and Hollywood, and the New World Order, and war with Russia, and nuclear war, and hyperinflation. But to the left and to the right in America, it's been like this since I was a little kid. I'm 50 now. Since I've been on air 30 years, this is basically where liberals and conservatives spend about half their time talking about Israel and Palestine all day. And so I've tried to stay out of it because you get... And the different groups that totally support Israel, no matter what, are in a cult. And the groups that totally hate Israel and blame everything on Israel and Jews are in a cult. And it gives me a headache. And so I've been attacked by the pro-Israel crowd of not being pro-Israel enough, and I've been attacked by the pro-Palestine crowd. Zionists, it's just horse crap. Just like when I'm against war with Russia. Oh, you root for the Russians? No, I don't.
Where are you from?
I'm against nuclear war. I like living. And quite frankly, I'm sick of talking about Russia. I want to talk about our border.
Don't leave bodies out in the open. Find some place to drop them out of sight.
Zero. Many school districts in America can't graduate even 5% of their students with passing grades. It's mainly blue cities. I mean, our country is a wreck. The world is a wreck. We've got major crises already happening, even more on the horizon. This is serious. And so, I have adult discussions about all of this. The rabbi that has been going after Candace Owens, she's been going back after him, been attacking me. Chumley, I think say his name. Chumley. Schmoley. I don't have a name in front of me. I'm not trying to be sarcastic with the name. Schmoley. And he's either completely insane in my view, or he's like the ADL, trying to get Jews persecuted so that, you know, he can be the leader and the savior. So I challenged him to come on the show and discuss this. He said, I'll debate you and I'll digitally, you know, decapitate you and all this other stuff. So I hit him back. You can read it all on X. And I said, I didn't say debate you. I want to have a serious with you. But if you want to have a debate, that's fine. You know, it's like the Kanye West thing turned into a debate. And he came here to debate. Supposed to be a guest on the show. And it's the same thing when Nick Fuentes was on it. Everybody calls it a debate. And or it turned into a debate with Stu Peters. I didn't do any of that to be a debate. I never called those a debate. I said we were having them on for a discussion. You can call it a debate if you want about these. And it just becomes this mindlessness where you have to pick a side, and he has not responded since I happened to wake up to take a piss at like 3:30 in the morning. Pick my phone up just to look at it. I noticed he just responded back saying, yeah, I'll debate you. So I hit him up.
Where are you from?
3 or 4 times today and privately. Rabbi Shum and said, will you please come on? So I as of now, let's have the phone in 30 minutes. He hasn't said it's going to be a really, really good discussion or debate. I just don't want to sit here and spew names at him and then have him spew names back and then...
Got him. Anyone else?
Anti position, according to him. That's what I stand for. And spew back stuff about Jews and Israel and push back bad things about me.
Those materials are already processed. They should come in handy sooner or later. Why not start gathering them?
He's not stupid. I shouldn't even do serious interviews. He's doing provocative stuff, lap dances on children, pinching little girls' breasts. When he wears a witch outfit, just come on, man. Maybe he's had a nervous breakdown, but he doesn't know it. So, we got a guest coming on. He's going to be discussing crisis in Gaza. Allah Jabbar. You're either totally for Israel, who's in power over there, whatever their new policy is, forced injections, whatever it is. Oh, don't criticize Netanyahu for trying to force injections on people. Israel's now the guinea pig state. We're going to test on our citizens new drugs to see if they work. I attacked Netanyahu. He said that with Jordan Peterson. And I got massively attacked. What are you doing? You're an anti-Semitic. This is crazy. I'm against forced injections in Australia, in the United States, in Germany. Really all the community who are being attacked by very corrupt corporations and groups. And Israel and Israel's representatives on TV really are trying to stir up class symbolism. On TV saying you want to destroy the Christians and the Muslims and have them all kill each other. America's killing the Muslims for us, just kills them too. And everybody else is subhuman and we're the spirit.
Anytime you need advice, just give me a call.
Whoa! And I'm just like, I'm like, everybody goes and puts this on the internet, right? And there are a lot of Jews calling them out. But most of them run over and then support Hezbollah and the Muslims who openly say they're going to take over. It's just like, please, man. I didn't grow up in the Middle East. I've never been there. I've studied it. It's very interesting. But good God, I am a Western Christian Renaissance man. I do want a free society. I do want people to live in peace. And that's why the West has been the best place per capita to live in the world. We've had plenty of problems. But all of this Eastern we're exporting it, folks. And it's all duplicitous. It's all backstabbing. It's sick.
It's an enemy guard post.
And there are some good parts of the cultures there. But it is descended in bad there. I'm trying to be level-headed. I'm trying to have whatever faction. The leftist Jewish organizations in Israel and whoever's in power say you're an anti-Semite, and people are sick of being called. Sick of being. I mean, I'm not. I know there's this Shunley rabbi posted on X. Somebody really making an in general anti-Jew statement. Which I think is very wrong. Bad thing. He said, "Oh, you're just obsessed with us. You're just jealous of us. You're just obsessed with us." And the world is, yes, forcing everyone to be obsessed with Jews. And that's just where we are. And that's the new big item. In 2,000 years, it reemerged. And I think we'd all be really smart here not to get into a clash of civilizations that are very force behind the scenes, the devil, is manipulating, in my view, to destroy humanity. I noticed another creepy clip from Shumley I saw last week. It says, all you other religions don't get it. We in Judaism don't believe in. There's only God, and God's so wonderful, and he's kind of dancing around like a demon, and looks like a pretty creepy dude. I mean, if I was going to somebody to be the bad guy in the next Saw movie, it'd be him. I mean, he makes your skin crawl, not because he's Jewish, but because he makes your skin crawl. Like Dr. Zelenko, loving, smart, intelligent man, person. His family comes from a medical background. You bring tears to my eyes, things you can say. You can feel his goodness and his soul. And then I've known so many Jews like that that are great people. And then you've got this guy. It's like saying Hitler represents the Jews. And I'm not saying Shumley is Hitler. I'm just saying Hitler makes my skin crawl. When you look at him, you look at his eyes, look at the attitude. It's dark, it's dangerous, it's scary. It makes me think I'm going to put my fist up. Well, Shumley makes me think I don't want to turn my back on him. I mean, this guy is a character.
You've reached one day. Miller is being held somewhere in that town. but we don't know exactly where he is. You can keep gathering intel or make an entry into the town now.
Putting on costumes to exacerbate it. And I'm already going down the rabbit hole. Oh my god, I'm so sick. But I mean, it's everywhere. I have to address it. I have to talk about it. And I'll just tell you, I don't want to be...
That's a type of medicinal plant.
I don't want to be...
Bring it back to base.
In the
It's sure to be useful sometime.
I do not want to be in the crazy Israeli camp, all the infighting and all of the psycho behavior and the genocide stuff. Just, I am not in either one of your club. That's straight. I'm like Switzerland, baby. I am neutral. But I'm going to make